Hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Bold and the Beautiful has Bill Spencer in still water, yet it runs deep these days as he quietly keeps an eye on Poppy Nozawa on the CBS soap. Bill isn't as oblivious to Poppy's manipulative ways as he might look. But one thing is for sure, no matter what happens, Luna Nozawa is his daughter. He's making sure of that. Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, didn't get where he is today by taking things at face value, so chances are he had Poppy investigated inside and out when he suspected Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, could be his daughter. Bill already loves Luna and thinks of her as his daughter, so he took matters into his own hands and asked her if he could adopt her. The Bold and the Beautiful fans watched as Luna became overjoyed by this invitation. But it was likely more than just a gesture from a loving father. It was a loving father who wanted insurance that Luna would be his daughter even if Poppy's ploy implodes, which the spoilers suggest is just a matter of time before that happens. Bill Spencer keeps quiet as he watches to see what Poppy Nozawa does next. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers suggest he suspects something fishy with the paternity test. Plus, if that's the case, he likely suspects she's in cahoots with her sister, Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda. Since Lee administered the paternity test, she had to falsify the test showing a match with Bill if there was none. When Bill and Luna's DNA matched, Bill was ecstatic, and so was Poppy and her daughter. But between that reveal and today, he might have learned that's not the case. He also may have learned the free-spirited beauty, who he had built up in his mind, has another side to her. Instead, Bill may find out she's working against him. The last time Bill Spencer saw Justin Barber, Aaron D. Spears, he was trying to take over his business. Back then, Bill was in jail on Bold and the Beautiful, but he trusted Justin, his best friend at the time. Then, Bill soon learned that Justin begrudged his orders over the years, so he was in the process of legally taking over his financial life. But once Bill Spencer discovered this, he severed ties with Justin for good, and the two became mortal enemies. But next week it looks like something changed. Bold and the Beautiful preview shows the publishing giant with Justin talking about the murders to Deacon Sharp, scene canon at Il Giardino. So, is Poppy Nozawa working with Justin on Bold and the Beautiful? It seems coincidental that the day Tom shows up to tell Poppy he is claiming Luna as his daughter, Justin shows up at his show, and the threat to Poppy is eliminated. Poppy might think she has her foot in Bill's door, so if things go well, marriage is likely the next step. This would work well for Justin Barber if he and Poppy Nozawa are in on this together. Again, not much gets past Bill Spencer, so he may suspect this already. This week, Katie Logan, Heather Tom, goes off on Bill Spencer. She has a bad vibe over his girlfriend and warns Bill not to trust Poppy. He may suspect Poppy is listening, so he could come back at her Katie like he's furious that she would even think that. He may even ban Katie from the house so Poppy Nozawa doesn't get the idea of eliminating her too. But he might do this to save her from the same fate as Tom, while at the same time keeping what he knows and suspects to himself. This would explain Justin's sudden appearance on Bold and Beautiful. It would also explain Bill Spencer's urgency to adopt Luna. So if Luna finds out he's not her biological father, he'll still be her legal dad. And it looks like she's going to need a father when her mother gets carted off to jail if this storyline materializes. Poppy could be arrested as an accomplice in 2 murders, which Justin Barber could have committed. Both men who are dead today were about to blow the whistle about what they knew. So if Bill Spencer learns that he's not the man who fathered Poppy Nozawa's daughter, that could be the end of Poppy and Justin's plan. But only if that is the direction this CBS soap is headed. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Bill stops Poppy's next kill? In the glimmering world of Los Angeles, where fortunes shift with the rising sun and secrets lie beneath the glamorous facade, a new storm is brewing. Poppy Prescott, the mysterious and deadly femme fatale, has her eyes set on her next target. But this time, she may have met her match in Bill Spencer, the cunning and ruthless businessman who's never backed down from a fight. The moon hung low over the city, casting long shadows over the Spencer mansion. Bill stood by the window, his silhouette framed against the darkened skyline. He was deep in thought, replaying the conversation he had overheard earlier that day at Forrester Creations. Poppy was planning something deadly, and Bill knew he had to stop her. Poppy Prescott had emerged from the shadows only recently, but she had already left a trail of destruction in her wake. Known for her beauty and cold-hearted ambition, Poppy had managed to weave herself into the lives of Los Angeles elite. But beneath her polished exterior lay a woman who wouldn't hesitate to eliminate anyone who stood in her way. Bill wasn't one to be easily intimidated. He had built his empire through sheer force of will, often resorting to questionable methods to get what he wanted. But as he learned more about Poppy's past, he realized she wasn't just another socialite looking to climb the ladder. She was a predator, and her next move could cost someone their life. The next morning, Bill arrived at Spencer Publications, his mind racing with possibilities. He needed to gather more information on Poppy, to understand her motives and her next move. But time was running out, and he could feel the tension in the air. He had to act quickly. He called Justin Barber into his office, his trusted confidant and right-hand man. "Justin, we have a problem," Bill said, his voice low and serious. "Poppy Prescott. She's planning something big, and I need to know what it is." Justin raised an eyebrow. "Poppy? She's been making waves, but I didn't think she was dangerous." "She's more dangerous than we thought," Bill replied. "I don't have all the details yet, but I know she's got a target in mind. We need to find out who it is and stop her before it's too late." Justin nodded, already pulling out his phone to make some calls. "I'll dig into her background, see if I can find any connections that might give us a clue. But if she's as deadly as you say, we need to be careful. She won't go down without a fight." As Justin left the office, Bill leaned back in his chair, staring at the ceiling. He was used to dealing with tough situations, but this was different. Poppy was a wild card, and if he wasn't careful, she could bring his world crashing down. Poppy Prescott was always one step ahead. She knew Bill Spencer was onto her, and she reveled in the challenge. For too long, she had operated in the shadows, but now she was ready to step into the light. Her target was someone close to Bill, someone who had wronged her in the past, and she would make them pay, no matter the cost. As Bill and Justin worked tirelessly to uncover her plan, Poppy played her own game. She left just enough clues to keep them on her trail, leading them down a path that would ultimately end in disaster. But Bill wasn't easily fooled. He could see through her deception, and he was determined to outsmart her. The days turned into a blur as Bill and Poppy engaged in a deadly game of cat and mouse. Every move Poppy made, Bill countered with one of his own. He knew he was getting closer, but he also knew that Poppy wouldn't make it easy. She was too clever, too dangerous to be caught off guard. But Bill had an ace up his sleeve, his knowledge of Poppy's past. He had discovered a secret that could bring her down, a piece of her history that she had buried long ago. And as the final showdown approached, Bill prepared to use it against her. The night was tense with anticipation. Bill had arranged a meeting with Poppy, under the guise of negotiating a truce, but both of them knew this was the endgame. One of them would come out on top, and the other would be left in the dust. They'd met in a secluded location, far from the prying eyes of the city. Poppy arrived first, her eyes cold and calculating. She wore a sleek black dress, her hair pulled back in a tight bun. She looked every bit the part of a deadly assassin, but there was a glint of excitement in her eyes. She was ready for whatever Bill had planned. Bill arrived moments later, his expression unreadable. He walked slowly towards Poppy, his mind racing with the possibilities. He knew he had to be careful, but he also knew this was his only chance to stop her. "Poppy," Bill said, his voice calm and measured, "I think we both know how this ends." Poppy smirked, her lips curling into a wicked grin. "You're right, Bill, but I wonder, do you?" Before Bill could respond, Poppy lunged at him, a knife glinting in her hand. But Bill was ready. He sidestepped her attack, grabbing her wrist and twisting it sharply. The knife clattered to the ground, and Poppy gasped in pain, but her eyes remained defiant. "You underestimated me, Poppy," Bill said, his voice low and dangerous. "You thought you could outsmart me, but you were wrong." Poppy struggled against his grip, her breath coming in short gasps. "This isn't over, Bill. I'll find a way to finish what I started." But Bill only tightened his grip, forcing her to her knees. "It's over, Poppy. You're finished." As the police sirens wailed in the distance, Bill knew he had won. Poppy had been stopped, and her reign of terror was finally at an end. But as he looked down at her, he couldn't help but feel a pang of regret. Poppy was a formidable opponent, and in another life, they might have been allies. But in this world, there could only be one victor. And tonight, that victor was Bill Spencer. As Poppy was led away in handcuffs, Bill stood alone, the weight of his victory heavy on his shoulders. He had stopped her, but at what cost? He knew this wasn't the end. There would always be another threat, another challenge to face. But for now, he could take a moment to breathe. The city stretched out before him, a labyrinth of power, secrets, and betrayal. Bill knew he was destined to walk this path, always on guard, always ready for the next fight. But he also knew that, no matter what came his way, he would face it head on. Because in this world, only the bold and the beautiful survive.